Good morning and happy Tuesday. Hopefully everybody's wearing their college shirts today, right? But you guys don't know about that. Um, if we had normal school, every Wednesday would be college shirt day, and almost the entire school, if they have a college shirt, wears a college shirt that day. Since we don't Zoom on Wednesdays, I think we should all wear college shirts on Tuesdays. So I got my college shirt on, Sonoma State, one of the ones I have. Anyway, let's do our warm up. Okay, you want to copy this down uh, and then pause it and then work on it for a while and then come back and see how you did, or come back and get some hints if you're stuck. Okay, again, these in and outs, what you're trying to do is figure out what is happening to these numbers that I put in to make them turn into the number that comes out. Okay, so that first one, zero goes in, and the machine actually does something to it, but still a zero comes out. It's like, what happened, right? Forgot to plug in the machine or something. One goes in, then a three comes out. Two goes in, a six comes out. What's going to come out when three goes in? So you're going to do that, okay? Now, I will, after I expect you to pause, do a couple hints on these and a couple hints on these and let you pause it again, because oftentimes on these in and outs, kids just need a couple more hints before that light bulb goes off, okay? These are all just regular exponents. You'll notice they're all to the second power, okay? And we're going to talk about a word that you can replace those four words, to the second power. That's four words. There's one word you can say if you want, okay? And you kind of sound like you're a mathematician, all right? Anyway, Spanish. Okay, these words, remember Spanish is a Latin root language. That means it comes from Latin along with Italian and French. And if you learn Latin, they don't really study it anymore, but if you learn a second language like Spanish or French or Italian, you will have an advantage figuring out English words, because a lot of them have Latin roots. So I think it's good to know these for math and for other subjects. So uno is one. You guys know that from playing the game Uno. But what's dos, tres, cuatro? And go and fill in those numbers if you know them. These two problems are what we call O problems. O. Okay, and see if you can figure out what O stands for. We'll talk about that. But it matters if you add first or multiply first or subtract first, right? That matters. You'll get different answers if you go in different order. Hint, hint, hint. Remember, the area of a rectangle is you're just going to multiply the length times the width. This really is like having 3 rows of 5. Okay. And how many squares would it take to cover that? Area is how much space it's covering, right? How many stickers it would take to cover it. Perimeter is how long would the fence be if you built around it, right? So 5, then 3, all the way around. Okay, figure those out, and then come back and see how you did. We will see you soon. Okay, welcome back. If you are just checking in because you've done all the problems you could, but you're kind of stuck on these warm-ups, I'm going to give you a couple hints here. If 3 went in here, 9 would come out here. And if 4 went in, 12 would come out. And some of you are saying, whoa, I see that it's going up by 3, so the next one must be 15. No. If 5 went in, 15 would come out. But there's a 10. So if you just recognize that pattern, then you're going to figure out what's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you can get 10, which is going to be 30. Okay? Now, on this one, a couple more hints. If 3 goes in, 11 comes out. And if 4 goes in, 14 comes out. And you might say, well, this is going up by 3 also. So this must be 17. Again, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 would be 17. But 10 is actually 32. Okay, another hint for you. These two are related a little bit. Okay, if all you need to do is a hint, go back and finish after you press pause, and I'll see you soon. Okay, welcome back. Let's get the rest of the answers here. What's coming out when 15 goes in? That's going to be 45. How about when 20 goes in? 60. And again, if you want to pause it because you think you got this now, pause it, right? A lot of times the light bulb goes off as you get more clues. 25 goes in, what's coming out? 75. 100 goes in, 300 is coming out. So what are we actually doing to these numbers? 6 is the same as 2 times 3. 30 is the same as 10 times 3. 60 is the same as 20 times 3. So what's coming out when x goes in? X times 3. And when you are in 8th grade, how are you going to write that? You'll just write 3x. That means 3 times x, whatever x is. Okay? All right. In and out here. What's coming out when 15 goes in? 47. What's coming out when 20 goes in? 62. 25 is 77. 100 goes in. 302 is coming out. You see that these are close. What's the difference? These are exactly the same numbers as this, only 2 more. 0 plus 2, 3 plus 2. So what's coming out is what went in times 3 and then add 2 when you're done with that. And again, in 8th grade, you're going to write x times 3 plus 2 as 3x plus 2. They equal the same thing. Okay, most popular wrong answer on 6 to the 2nd power is 36. Most popular wrong answer, was 12. The correct answer is 36. Most popular wrong answer for 8 to the 2nd power is 16, but it's not it. It's 8 times 8. Fell on the floor. I picked it up. It was 64. To the 2nd power. Instead of saying to the 2nd power, who knew? You can say squared. Because if I made a square that had sides of 6, the area would be 36. If I made a square that had sides of 8, the area would be 64. If I made a square with sides of 10, the area would be 100. So you can say, and I can draw that 3, right? I won't have to draw the 10. Yeah, pick the easy one. They call it low-hanging fruit when you do that. So this is 3 wide and 3 tall. What is the area? Well, 3 times 3 times itself, right? Because a square, each side is the same. You're timesing it by itself, which is the same as to the 2nd power. So you can say, instead of to the 2nd power, those 4 words, you can say 3 squared. 3 squared is 3 times 3, 9. 5 squared is not 10. 5 squared is 5 times 5. 7 squared, and say these words, okay? You're at home, no one's listening. You might feel silly talking to yourself. It's okay. Smart people talk to themselves sometimes. Go ahead and say it. The more you use those words, the more you own those words. 7 squared is not 14, it's 7 times 7. 9 squared is not 18, it's 9 times 9. And 4 squared is not 8, it's 4 times 4, or 16. Okay? Dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, and 10. Whoops, I forgot that S or Z. Please don't grade me on my spelling. I think it's an S. It might be Z. 10 is 10. All right, and you might recognize a unicycle, okay, is a bicycle with one wheel, right? It's something you ride on with one wheel. A bi means 2. So does dos. Okay. Tres, tricycle, right? Tricycle has 3. Tre is going to be 3. A quad, if you've ever ridden a quad, it has 4. There are 4 quarts in a gallon, 4 quarters in a game, or a dollar, right? Quart means 4, quad means 4. A quad has 4 wheels. Cinco de Mayo is the 5th of May, right? Seis is 6. Siete, 7. Ocho, same root as October. The 8th month? No, that's confusing, huh? But an octopus, or an octagon, has 8 sides or 8 legs, right? Nueve is 9, and 10 is 10. And also, decade is 10 years, right? Again, they end up coming from the same thing. They change a little bit, but that's good to know. You should know those numbers anyway. All right. Now, if you did 8 plus 2 first, you got 10. Then 10 times 7 is 70, and 70 minus 2 is 68. Good math, but you didn't follow the OOO, which stands for order of operations. Operations are just the things you do in math, right? All the different things you could do, like multiply, divide, add, subtract, right? Order has to do with what are you doing first. It matters. Okay, you can't get up to bat and hit a ground ball to the first baseman and see the first baseman picking it up and getting ready to step on the bag and have you be out and say, oh, I'm running to third. I got a triple. You didn't get me out, right? Everybody has to agree on the rules, otherwise it's no fun. And the rule says you have to run the bases in order, first, then second, then you can get to third. But you have to tag first and second without getting out first before you can go to third. Math is similar, okay? You have in order, and what comes first in order of operations takes cuts in front of everything is parentheses. And you can draw them like that, the normal ones. You can do the fancy ones. And you can do the big brackets if you want, right? But that happens first. Now, after parentheses, if you have any, you're going to do exponents and something else that we'll learn soon. After all that parentheses and exponents are gone, then you have to decide, what am I going to do? Multiply, divide, add, or subtract? Okay, well, you will divide and multiply before you do any, and you can have the division like that, and you can have the multiplications like that, before you do any of the most simple things. It's almost in reverse order of how you learn things in math as you grow up, right? The first things you learn is how to do with what? Add and subtract, or subtract and add. Okay, now some of you learn this as PEMDAS. I don't like PEMDAS because if you have division and multiplication together, what will you do first? You'll divide first. Okay, whichever lined up first. These are equals. If you have subtracting and adding together, what will you do first? Whichever lined up first. They're equals. So whichever one lines up first with adding and subtracting, whichever one lines up first with dividing and multiplying. But if I have dividing and multiplying and adding and subtracting, I have to do all of these before I do any of those. Okay? So I'm not going to add or subtract. The first thing I'm doing here is 2 times 7. What is 2 times 7? 14. Now what do I have left? I have 8 plus 14 minus 2. Adding and subtracting are same level, so I'm just going to go in order of which came first. The adding did. 8 plus 14 is 22, and 22 minus 2 is 20. Okay? This one here, what am I doing first? Subtracting. Now I have a multiplying. Yeah, I have another multiplying. I got to do these two first. 4 times 3, 7 times 2. What do I have left? And you'll notice when I solve these, I solve them going step by step, going down vertically. This is how I want you to solve them, and this will help you when you get to algebra. If you get used to solving problems step by step going down, showing all your work, you will learn faster and you'll get less wrong. Okay, now all I have left is subtracting and adding. What do? Well, that's the same level. Whichever one lined up first goes first. The difference in 24 and 12 is 12, and the sum of 12 and 14, 26. Okay, it matters which order you went in, right? If I didn't go in order, I would have gotten a different answer. Okay, now we already figured out the area of this is 3 rows of 5, or 3 times 5, 15. Now what kind of units? These are square units. When I'm talking about the stickers to cover it or area, I'm going to do squared. And here's something cool. When we learned what, instead of saying 2 to the second power, we can say squared. Well, that's a abbreviation when you do area too. You can say 15 square meters here. Okay, and over here, I can say the perimeter is 3 plus 5. That got me halfway around. That's 8. Another 3, another 5 is another 8. 8 and 8 is 16. And this is a length, linear units. 1 dimension. 2 dimension is squared to the second power. 1 dimension is a linear or a line that's just to the first power. Okay? All right. 4 times 13. I think that was a diamond yesterday. All right, 52 cards in a deck. And what kind of inches? This is square inches. 4 plus 13 is 17. And I'm going to double that to get all the way around. Your fence goes all the way around the field. 34 inches. 6 times 8 is 48. So that's going to be 48. What kind of units? Square units, square centimeters. And 6 plus 8 is 14, plus another 14. The perimeter is 28 centimeters. Okay, you guys, good job. You'll get another one tomorrow. We'll see you then.